Hi everybody, this is Miss Clark, Miss Jennifer Clark, and I am Drew May, and we're here to do our Learn coaching session. So I just wanted to review a couple of things with you that we did last time.
Sure.
We did video of your current reality. We set a peers goal, and we came up with a new strategy for you in the classroom.
Right.
Are you happy with that and ready to move forward?
I believe so. Yeah, we've kind of discussed and talked, and I've thought about it. So yeah, that sounds great. We can go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Ms. Clark, so here for your strategy, I've created a checklist. So right here on the beginning, if you'll just take a look at it, and also let me know if there's anything that you would like to change
All right.
or modify about the practice.
Okay. I'll look over it. That looks good. That looks
Okay, good. So you feel comfortable with, you make sure you have access to student technology? Because as far as blended classroom, it's pretty important to have the technology.
Right. That should be pretty easy based on what's available with the school, and the way the schools.
I thought that since you teach second grade, that making sure students know their username and passwords were pretty important.
Exactly. Yes.
Making sure that they're familiar with Schoology, creating a video of your lesson as part of the blended classroom.
Right. Exactly.
Make sure students can find the video if you're going to take the time to do it. And make sure that the online instruction and the face-to-face instruction kind of complement each other, that they work in succession with one another.
That seems very logical.
And then have a way to assess the students based on that. That'll let them know, hey, if you're spending 80% of your time towards your goal, that hey, if they're given an assessment, student work could be your way of measuring
Right.
that goal.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Is there anything you want to add or anything like that?
I believe that makes sense. You know, if they're going to be on the technology, then it needs to be effective, and so we definitely want to, gauge that in some form or fashion.
Okay.
So I agree.
All right, good. To go over our classroom, we want to do some modeling for you
All right.
to show about the strategy of blended classroom. So there's different approaches we can take. We can model by watching video of somebody do it. We can model by having me do it in the class with the students. We can model in class with no students. Co-teaching, us teaching together, and then we could also visit another teacher's classroom. So what would be the best strategy for you to grasp what we're kind of want to do here?
I think the way I learn best is without distraction and just very close proximity. So I think you modeling it without the distractions of the kids in the classroom, I think that'd probably be the ideal first step.
Okay, I agree with that, because I know especially with second graders, they can get up and they're standing in line waiting on you and things like that. So could I also recommend, like, if I show you that so you could see it in action, would it be okay, like, once I show you the modeling with no students, would you be susceptible to maybe going to another teacher's classroom? I heard there's another teacher in right down the hall that's doing some blended classroom with the older grades. Would you be willing to go during a time to watch another teacher?
Yeah, I think that would be like a perfect second step. First watch you without the distractions, and then see it applied in the classroom with a teacher and a student. So yeah, I think that would be an excellent plan.
Okay, thank you. When would be a good time for us to model without the students? So I could kind of show you some of the things about blended classroom, and what would be a good time for you to possibly visit another teacher's classroom?
I think probably the most obvious times would be during our planning. we could work together, or at the end of the day, if we needed to do that based on our schedules. And then with the other teacher, I could compare her schedule to mine, and if it worked, I think going during my planning then would also be good if that was at a time when she was using the blended classroom model as well.
Okay, yeah, I think that's smart. You don't want to go into the classroom and them not be doing any blended learning at the time. It'd be direct instruction. No, I totally agree. So, very good, and we'll get that set up and we'll get that started. All right, so right here we have, when you're wanting to set up your blended classroom, as part of our checklist that we have here, we know that our students have access to the technology, so you'll be able to check that one off. Right. We want to make sure that they know their username and password. Most of them do, so we can check that off. The check just ensures that you have all the elements before you get started and as you're getting started through the approach. Ensure that the Schoology platform will support what you have planned. So what I'm going to do here is we'll go into Schoology and courses. We will go into, which this one is mine, but we will, yours looks very similar. So we'll go into homeroom, and you can see I've got it dated here. Just the kids know to go in. This is the only thing they can see, so they can walk in. Try to make it very simple, like we all do. We have to set it up a certain way, and then go in. So let's say your social studies, I believe, is famous people this week, right? Yeah. So if you're going in and you're reading a thing about Jimmy Carter, right here, I see that they have Padlet in here. This would be a good place for the kids to find the video that goes along with your blended learning. So the next step is one of the steps is you want to make sure students can find the video that you need for your lesson. So there'd be a check mark right there as well. But now we need to create our video. We're already doing one with Screencast right now. Once we turn it off, it will save to our desktop.
Nice.
And then from there, you can go in, and let's say we've stopped our video and we want to upload. It's very simple on the Apple, and we can just stop. We can go in and we can add a file, and you'll simply just go in, add your file like you've been doing with everything else. You want to attach the file. If it's on my desktop, I'll go to my desktop, and let's say that your video is in here. You'll just take it, click on it, and you'll just add it in there. So now the video is in there.
Right.
It could be of you reading about Jimmy Carter. It could be about you doing an activity of Jimmy Carter under the document camera or in front of the screen, or maybe you have a whiteboard or something behind you and you can be doing your lesson.
Right.
That way it gives you the opportunity to pull kids who maybe need a little extra help.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And then the ones that can kind of work independently, but they need it read aloud, or some of your ESOL students.
Right.
Some of your kids who need it read aloud. It also allows you to differentiate.
Yeah, I can see where that would be an easy way to go about doing that.
Right. And then you can concentrate on some of the other ones who need more support.
Yeah,
but you can still support the other ones that are doing this as well, because they may have a question, but they can always go back and rewind if they need you to read it again.
Right. Yep.
So it's kind of like you've cloned yourself and you have 15 Miss Clarks or 17 kids in here, so 17 Miss Clarks at the same time.
And we definitely have said that for years, that they needed to find a way to do it. So it sounds like we're getting closer.
Yeah. So you can go in and you can and you can attach it here. You can publish it so the kids can see it.
Okay.
Then you can unpublish it so they can't see it.
Right.
So you allow them to see whatever it is that you want. So I would recommend making them ahead of time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't make them the day of. Make them like the day before or the week before. Because you may have to go back and make them. And you've already planned. You already know what you're doing, so you could go in the week before or a couple days before, read them out. That way it's ready
Right.
the day before. That way you're making a higher
Yeah.
quality video.
And make adjustments and edit as needed.
Correct. Especially with the editing. Yeah. So let's just pretend like we added here, and then your video would show up here.
Okay.
You hand your kids out their assignment in person. This is where the blended classroom comes in. You may give them directions in person, but then you're supplementing those directions. You may hand them their paper or their assignment, but you're also supplementing because you're giving instructions online as well.
Right. And sometimes they just need to hear something a different way. Okay.
And they can always rewind the video to do it again, and things like that. Some kids who need it paraphrased, I've found out that you really got to make sure that you paraphrase within those. And some of those kids may need paraphrasing in person. The video, they may go through and listen to the video, and they may listen to it 3 times. But sometimes they need to hear it paraphrased from us.
Right. Each child, different learning styles and abilities. So yeah, that makes sense. Just make adjustments as we go.
Right. I agree. Do you have any questions about how to make it easy to... I know you do really good with technology access and usernames and passwords, and Schoology platform, really good with that. Do you have any questions about these next two? Do you have any questions about creating the video, or how students find the video?
Well, I've been able to watch you post things and watch the kids navigate through the website. So I think I feel fairly comfortable about that. And so I think with a little practice and trial and error, I should be able to walk my way through it.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. And we've already talked about the next one was to make online instruction and make them complement each other. And I think we've kind of discussed that with some of the paraphrasing aspects of it. So I think you got a good leg forward on this.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
And ready to go. We'll get ready to talk about what are some good times for you to implement it here shortly.
Okay, that sounds great. Sounds good. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I know we talked about the lesson and modeling and things like that. We set up a time for you to go watch somebody else, and we watch screencast. Is there a time that you would like to implement the practice, a date or a time?
I'm thinking probably within the coming week. We are starting a new unit in social studies on famous people, and so I think that would probably be a good time. That would be similar to my first the first lesson I did for you, and that way I could use kind of similar setting and then apply the new approaches we're talking about.
Okay, yeah, I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay.
I think that'd be a really good idea. Well, I just want to say thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for allowing me to come in to your classroom. And I look forward to our next session where I see kind of the student work and how things have been going.
All right, sounds good. I'm looking forward to it as well, getting these things implemented. I think it will definitely benefit the kids and my teaching as well.
Right, and that's the point, is definitely all the kids. So, yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.